Hi guys, I'm back with more planner and fountain pen goodness. It really is part of my daily ritual, and anyone who's attended any of my Zoom group classes, either through my website or through Pies Fitness, knows I really think ritual is important. And something that's just for your enjoyment. And so that's kind of where planning lands for me. I'm not so busy that, planning is super, super essential because we don't have kids. I work from home most of the time, and my wife does split hybrid, sometimes at work, sometimes here at home, and there just isn't that much to keep track of. But playing with the layouts, playing with the stickers, the different ink colors, it gives me a reason to get a little creative without the pressure of having to do something completely from scratch. And if you haven't ever gotten a subscription package from Sterling Ink, they're always packaged up beautifully, always wrapped in a lovely coordinating tissue paper and sealed with one of their stickers. I generally cannot manage to save the sticker and the tissue paper at the same time. But if I use the tissue paper, it's generally going to be in collage, and I'm going to tear it into smaller pieces anyway. So I do keep that. Oh, this month is going to be fun. Some of my favorite colors. And by the way, this shouldn't be a spoiler because they did open up their collection for this month on their website, or for September. So you can order I think any of the stickers and vellum sheets that are in here, plus some fun things that are not in here, like there are vintage photo stamp looking stickers that I would love if those were included from time to time in the subscription. There's always a nice little wee envelope, and inside are month tabs, either with decoration or without. And then there's a little sample that's about credit card size of some of the images from this collection. And I usually keep these. I don't use the stickers on here, and I'll use them as tuck-ins for my pen pals. And then there is a September two title stickers, a small little vellum calendar sticker, and then there's always this little thank you for your order / business card that goes with. I often end up using this as another bookmark in my planner. So these just look super fun. Actually, let me bring the envelope back in so we have a mostly white background to look at these on. It looks like the California Inta could carry over. I could use the Alt Goldgren again, or maybe the avocado. This purple, I'm wondering if the J. Arbonne Larme de Cassis would be a good fit, and I probably don't have a pink. I've kind of got pink trauma from my childhood, mostly to like the Barbie Pepto-Bismol pink, but it does make me leery to like purchase pink inks because I'm afraid I'm just not gonna like them. So there's always a few of these smaller sheets, and this is the washi version. It almost disappears, but you can layer, you can put it over text and see the text through. So there is that. There's usually 2 of one of those, I think. And then now that I got their dated planner, I don't use these, but we always get one of these with 2 sets of numbers. I don't know what I'm going to do with all those. If it's something you would use and, you know, we're doing ink samples swapping or something, just let me know. I'd be happy to throw a sheet or 2 in for you to try out. And then there's a couple of these larger sheets. 2 of this one that has kind of washi tape and corner stuff. And some of these, I don't know if you can see, some of these have silver foil accents on them. Not all of them, but yeah. So, okay, we've looked at that. There's also days of the week, enough for the whole month, and then dates, just September 1, blah, 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 and then a B6 size calendar vellum that you can tip in, and 2 full-size sheets of vellum that you can cut down and tip in, use for collage. So far I haven't used the large vellum sheets. Other than that, I've been doing really good about using up my kit. So that's what I told myself. As long as I keep using up the kit and I'm not like amassing tons of stickers that, you know, are gonna need to be dealt with later, I can keep getting the subscription kit. But if they start piling up too much, then I will need to take a break. So right now, my ink swatches are in 2 different Tomoe River Taroko design notebooks. Oops, there's my August stickers. So let's just, this first one I started with purple because it was my favorite color. So this is the Lamy Dark Lilac that was a special edition. You can see it has a green sheen, but, well, green gold kind of. I like it. It almost never shows up. And I tested them with that Hokoro dip pen. So these are really cool because they have a feed like your traditional fountain pen, but there's no converter or cartridge. But it holds more ink than like your old traditional dip pen. And then it has a bent nib. So I write the first line with the pen nearly vertical. Then I actually reverse write because you can see you get even a little bit finer. And sometimes that's needed. Sometimes you're having to write in a really, really cramped space. Then I do like my standard angle grip, and then I do a flat. Because this was the first one, I wasn't really used to the Fude, so I didn't get as much line variation as you can actually get. But you can see that this is more than I had in my previous video with the Delight brass pen. So this is, I mean, in a pinch, this would work with this month. Yeah, I mean, it'd look fine in use in the planner. But I'd like something just maybe a titch redder And it could be lighter because it almost, you know, unless you're up close, it almost reads black. It's that dark. This is Purple Pizzazz from Diamine. I'm ready to trade that ink sample if anybody wants. Same with the Diamine Imperial. The Tyrian Purple, I really want to get this. It's Diamine, so it's not super expensive, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. I love this particular shade of, I think of it as kind of a red-violet color more than a purple per se, but I get where they're coming from. And that might almost bridge between the purple and the pink, so that could be an option. And I think I have enough sample left that I can pull that off. Rohrer & Klingner, Solferino. I'm already swapping this with someone. Here you can see, though, really getting that Fude nib to work, how thick I can get it there. If I get down really flat. And I love that. So, and I'd really like to have, ideally, I would have a fountain pen with a Fude of this ilk that took cartridge converter, and I could put my headline ink in it, because then I could choose to do really thick writing for some of the headlines, or I can do the standard or even reverse if I'm needing to make a really important note in a really crowded spot. So I'm kind of on the hunt for that. Then, no surprise here, Iroshizuku, and this is Yamabudo. This also has kind of that green gold sheen, but it doesn't really show up on the writing until I got into the Fude. So need to have a pretty juicy, probably broad pen to really bring that out. And this is the one I was really wondering if this wouldn't go well here. It doesn't quite match that pink. It's kind of close, and it's definitely more red and much lighter than the dark purple in this month's kit. So I think, Sally, I'm so excited to get to work with this ink, because I now have it in a bottle, but I haven't put it in a pen yet, so I'm kind of excited to do that. Diatramentis dianthus, and this sample is available for trade. So is this one, because like I said, pink, not really my thing, and especially this bright. Now this isn't Barbie pink, but again, the super pure brights are not really my thing. And then I did all my kind of purple magenta inks, and I've got room to add a few, but here they all are, plus 2 on the following pages here. Right now I'm almost feeling like the Lamy and the Tyrian Purple from Diamine might be my best bet. One of the new inks we got in April was this Birmingham Pen Company Prickly Pear, and we got this to be a replacement for Noodler's Nightshade. My wife has used Noodler's Nightshade for years and years and years, and like she always has that in one of her pens, and we have chosen to no longer support Noodler's. So some of those inks that we did use a fair amount, we are looking for dupes for, and you can kind of see it here. Noodler's Nightshade tends a little more brown. You can kind of see that over here too. It's a little more kind of chocolatey, whereas the Prickly Pear leans a little more towards the purple violet. And we were totally okay with that. But I don't think that's my best choice for September. And there's the the Noodlers. This is a sample of Mix Free Earth Brown. How it's brown, I don't know. Especially when writing, it just seems like an orange to me, but I'm not quite ready to get rid of the sample though, because I may be able to mix it to get more of the kind of orange that I'm looking for a lot of their subscription mailings. Then we have Farney's, which is just relabeled Private Reserve Copper Burst. Farney's is a fountain pen shop on Capitol Hill, and the ink names are exactly the same as Private Reserve. It just is privately labeled as Farney's. You'll notice a lot of these I haven't actually done the drip test on. I think in the other book I did most of those. And here is the Birmingham Pen Company Burleywood, and here you can see the sheen that's there. And I actually truthfully did not know it was there until I rinsed out the nib, and then the water gets very different when there's sheening in an ink, and it almost looked like tonic water under black light, like the quinine picks up the black light and then glows. That's what the water looked like when I rinsed out my pen. So yeah, I now make sure that if I have heavy sheening inks in any of my pens, that those get rinsed last. Just like anything with shimmer gets rinsed last. This is the Brandy Dazzle that I was also using here in August. And really, even like without the shimmer, that is an orange I can totally get behind. So if you know of an orange ink that's kind of that more like rusty orange, let me know what it is. Mueller's X Feather, again, that's something that we're looking to get rid of. This sample I have available for trade as well. The J. Arbonne Stormy Gray, 1670. I would prefer if the shimmer were silver. I'm not a fan of the gold shimmer in that one. And then the Noodler's Lexington Gray, which I found to be quite dry. And again, it's Noodler's, so we're either going to rehome these Noodler's bottles, or I don't know, because we're finding that we're not even reaching for those bottles now. So I don't think we'll actually use those up. And then here is the Pilot Irish Zuku Fuyu Soigun. This is a cool gray. You can see I had it in my Falcon soft fine nib. I did that because the Lexington Gray in a soft fine, it wasn't working, so I decided to just put Pilot ink in a Pilot pen, and I was much happier. The only thing, 1 month I had this in my Falcon for my general notes, not important notes stuff, and then one of the main colors, either for work or personal, I had the Diamine Prussian Blue, and they were way too similar. I couldn't, in fine nibs, I couldn't tell the difference between them very well. This is Rohrer & Klingner Salix Iron Gall, and I picked this up because of the Prussian Blue not differentiating with the Fuyu Soigun. But it is iron gall, so I've been a bit of a chicken and I haven't put it in any of my pens yet. It'll probably go in a Jinhao of some variety or another at some point here. Just put it in some pens I don't really care for. Diamine Twilight, absolutely love it. Definitely want a bottle of it. Again, it's one of those I just haven't bothered to pick up because I know it's probably gonna always be there, or at least for a good while. It's not a special edition or anything, but I like that this one's a little bluer than some of the other dark teals that we have. So I do think this would fit into our collection without being too duplicating. This is the Diamine Prussian Blue. And it's currently in my Navalar Classic Plus. And I had it in my Pilot Decimo Fine before that. Here's Diamine Majestic Blue. I'm not a big blue ink person unless it is kind of these more grayed out blues, or leans green towards teal. So that one is available for trade, as is a sample of Private Reserve's Electric DC Blue. That is a blue with red sheening. See if I can catch and kind of see it. I mean, there we go. In this day and age, there's so many blues that sheen red now from so many different companies. And again, it's not something that's really my thing. Conklin Blue, we each got a full bottle of this, my wife and I, when we went to the DC Pen Show in 2016. It was free with admission, and I don't know if that was because we were there on Sunday or if that was for the whole shebang. I don't think I've ever put it in a pen. Like I said, I'm not like a huge blue ink, but actually looking at it here, I could get behind this blue, but we have 2 bottles. So if you want a sample, or if you'd like to take one of the bottles off my hands, just leave a comment below and let me know. Or I'm over in Simone's Discord channel, so you could tag me over there too. And then we have the Pilot Iroshizuku Shioro, which is a sample. I can't remember if I put down that I'm okay moving that sample along or not. I'm sort of undecided. If you're really, really wanting it, I'd probably rehome it. There's a good chance I would add these to my inventory. I don't know which I would pick first, though, the Shioro or the Kujaku. Probably the Shioro would be my preference, because we also have Diamine Marine, which is a little brighter than this, but kind of in the same vein to me. So we do that. And then we have the Birmingham Pen Company Heron. And I was really surprised. This was where it really showed up that things look different in a pen versus using the dip pen. Like, the dip pen gives me some sense, and it is a ballpark, and not all the inks have this drastic of a difference. But when I put the ink in my Kaweco, it went so much darker. It, tended more towards this 3 layers over here. So that was kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting it to go that dark. And so that made that month not coordinate so well. Then we moved to a second book, and we have Diamine Teal. And this is a sample. And I'm on the fence about sharing that one. Again, this is a color I would not mind adding to my collection. I really like that kind of hunter green almost. Like, yeah, I can see where the teal comes in. But I would classify it as more green than blue. Diamine Eau de Nil, and this I was a little sad about, because we had this first, but look at the Heron from Birmingham Pen Company. It's not very different, and especially once you look at the writing down here of the Birmingham, because I'm almost positive the Diamine looks pretty dark in an actual pen as well. So there's not much difference between those two, so I was a little sad about that one. Diamine Emerald, this is actually a sample. I don't have it noted here. Again, this is a green I would happily welcome into my collection. Although I am liking inks that shade quite well, and or have like complex color to them, like when you do a chromatography strip that like there's lots of colors that went into making up a color. I really like those. Now this is an ink we bought at the 2016 pen show, partially because their ink bottles are so cool. I don't know if you've seen the Ackerman ink bottles, but you might do a Google search and check those out. They're really neat. And Amelia picked out this green, which again to me leans a little more towards the teal or the turquoise. I don't remember which is which. But I like it. Put it in her Parker. I think her Parker is actually a Parker 50. Well, no, maybe it is a 25. I don't remember. But I think she had that number wrong when she told me. It has a very small sweet spot on it, which means she doesn't use it a ton. But if you hit that sweet spot, it is nice. And I could try tuning it to open up that sweet spot. I just haven't yet. Overall, this is not my favorite color. My wife really likes it, and one of her partners really likes it, so I'm sure we'll get through it. And then Birmingham Pen Company again, we got Arugula. It comes out way more gray and less green than I was really expecting. I was expecting this to read more green, but it reads more like green black or green gray, especially once you put it in a pen. So that's not an option. We have the Alt Gold Green, which is just a favorite of mine. I'm probably going to carry that over into September, I think. Emerald de Chivor, that sample is up for trade. And Diamine Sherwood Green. And I'm almost torn between that one and the Emerald. Like, I'm not sure which one I would want to add for certain, but I like both of those. And then we have the Chicorin that I have, and you can see it in a Vanishing Point Broad. The Navalar with the rose gold plated nib, and the Kaweco Fine. So when I put one of these inks in a pen, then I do go and note this down here. I also have a separate notebook tracking the pen with the various inks. And then here's all our blues and greens and everything in between. So you can see here the Eau de Nil and the Heron right next to each other. I think I'd want to make a choice between the Diamine Teal and this Siorun if I was going to get something in this vein. And again, the Emerald and the Sherwood together, I don't know which I'd pick. I like them both. And then the Twilight I really like too, but I don't know if it's different enough from, I don't know. We'll see. Then I have the Diamine Golden Sands. So this is another one of the shimmer ones, and I had it in my Lamy All-Star, but with the fine nib. And this has been my accent color for several months now. Stipula Saffron sample, which I keep thinking looks similar to the Mystery Yellow that's been going around. I'm not sure I've seen anybody swatch this next to the Mystery Yellow, but I'd be intrigued to see. Then there's Noodler's Apache Sunset / Southwest Sunset. I'm glad they made that change at least to be a little more inclusive. This one shades a lot, which I really like about it. I haven't used it a ton. but I do like it and would like a dupe for that. If anybody knows of a dupe for Apache Sunset. And same with the Noodler's Habanero. Well, it's brighter and more pure in hue than the kind of oranges that I'm looking for to go with Sterling Ink stuff. It's an orange that I like, and you know, it shades quite a bit when you look at especially the broad. But even like when I had it in my Lamy Safari, I used it as an accent one month, and you did see the shading even in those short amount of writings. We have Diamine Matador in a sample, and I think I'm hanging on to that sample because I really like this shade of red. And then a little more cool than the Matador, we have the Diamine Carnival 150th anniversary. And this one we have in a bottle, and I do like that red. It's not like your teacher marking pen red. And in general, I kind of tend towards cooler shades of colors often. Diatramentus Oriental Red. That's a very old bottle that we have. In fact, it was a little crusty when I opened the lid up to swatch. So I'd want to make sure that the ink bottle sat for a bit and any sediment like settled to the bottom before I inked up a pen, just in case any of that crusty stuff made its way into the bottle. And then we have Diamine Oxblood, which is just awesome for a dark burgundy red. As we move into the later fall months, I'll probably lean into that. We have the J. Herbin Carew de Chypre. I don't know. Like I said, I don't speak French. Feel free to correct me in the comments. This is a sample, but I'm already trading it with someone. Birmingham Quantum Teal. This was my wife's pick. You barely see the teal a lot in the writing, even with an extra fine. Really, that burgundy shimmer is what shows up most. But it's kind of fun. I don't know that it'll ever like coordinate with a Sterling Ink thing. So sometimes I just need to, you know, just suck it up and ink up a pen with a color I like and just use it. This is Noodler's Black Swan on Australian Roses. Yes, it's very similar to the Yamabudo from Iroshizuku, except that this one shades to the black, or yeah, I wouldn't quite call that a sheen. But I really like that shading towards black. So I would love a dupe for this too, because I like this color and I like the shading towards black. And then here we have the yellows, reds, oranges, and browns. And a few of these were later adds, so we'll see them in the following pages. So yeah, and I could still squeeze in some if I wanted to see some side by side. I'm probably gonna, I don't know if I'll stick with this system exactly or not. So I have the Pilot Iroshizuku Kirisame. Again, that's in my TWSBI Eco right now. I inked it up July 2023. And it's just a nice, pretty neutral gray, maybe slightly towards the warm. It definitely looks warm in comparison to the Foyu Shogun, or however I pronounce that. Then we have the J. Herbin Coral de Tropique. And you can see here how when I first put it in, it didn't write. That was moving it from the Decimo to the Lamy. I don't know why, but sitting for a day or two, then it did finally write again. And when I first added the glycerin to the Decimo, it worked really well. but it ended up just not being quite how I wanted it in the Decimo. So that's why I moved it to the Lamy to give a try. And it did play down the orange. It's still a warm pink coral, but more, it reads almost more salmon in the All-Star right now. Be intrigued to see what it looks like with the White Lightning. Then one of my Van Ness samples was Kobe 54, the Goshiyama Ochre. Definitely hanging on to this sample. Definitely like this color. It's a nice kind of warm neutral. Don't know if I need a bottle of it, but we'll see. And then Colorverse Brunch Date in 4 milliliter sample. And again, I'm hanging on to that one until I buy, I think I want a bottle of this, partially because I just love how Colorverse names most of their inks. This one isn't an example of it, but I like how they lean into the science on a lot of their stuff. And this one shades a lot, as you can tell from that swatch. Then there's the J. Herbin Rue de Ancre, and let's see, does that? Yeah, that one's still a little too warm for the pink, and that definitely is. So is that one. So I don't know if you have a recommendation for this, for the pink in the September sterling ink, let me know. And then this is the Califolio Inta, which I'm using in the Lamy Safari here in August. Maybe I'll carry it through because there are the daisies in the September. And then I also picked up Waringo Shinshiro. I was trying to find a yellow that looked like Golden Sands without the shimmer, because yes, I know I can just not shake up the bottle, but I don't want to disrupt the balance of shimmer to ink for those times when I maybe do want the shimmer. So I don't want to be always going in there and drawing up without pulling much shimmer up. So this isn't quite it. I think I'm probably fine rehoming and swapping this ink sample. And then there was one more, but I ran out of pages. It was Colorverse Alpha Ori, and that was way too bright orange for me. So I'm thinking what we'll be going with in September, maybe to continue the Alt Goldgrün, and that would be my work color. Maybe just putting in the Lamy Dark Violet into the mix, although I'll have to write these side by side and see how well they pop out from each other. And then I could keep the Califolio for accents and headers maybe, although I'd really kind of like either a lighter dusty violet or something that would kind of match that pink. So if you have suggestions of inks that might match those, please leave them in the comments below, especially if I can get samples of them. That would be lovely. So I'll check back with you, mid-September and show you what I decided on and how it works out in my planning. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please hit the like and the subscribe button, share with friends, all that good stuff that helps our videos be seen. Let me know, do you journal? Do you plan on paper? And do you use fountain pens? Or what are your favorite pens to write with? Even if they aren't fountain pens, I love stationery supplies, and there's nothing like late August and September to be thinking about buying school supplies, right? I still do it, even though we don't have kids, and I'm, you know, multiple decades out of school now at this point. So I still always want to go buy new supplies, sniff a new box of crayons, all that good stuff. So thanks again, and I will see you later. Bye.